what happens in elections affects every single one of us. The way we vote and the way you vote and will vote affects very important parts of your lives. So we need to be engaged in the debate. And we don't really have a right to start whinging on about what things are happening and what's not happening and what's good for me and what's bad for me if we're not taking part in the democratic process.
Cynicism, that view that was expressed there by my alter ego, that they're all in it for themselves, they're completely useless at everything, there's no point in it, or that's rising at the moment. Maybe partly because of what's happened to the Brown government, but it's not healthy and it's not good.
I don't think that the relationship is in great shape between people and politics. 60% of people voted at the last election. Maybe that's because most people thought they knew the result. I have to say, as a constituency MP going around knocking on doors, the most depressing thing for me is not when people say, I'm going to vote Conservative. The most depressing thing for me, genuinely, is when people say, you're all the same, or politics makes no difference.
One of the reasons that I think people are going to be more turned on to politics in the next few years, frankly, is because they're running out of money. They're going to be in deep economic trouble. We've had 10 relatively easy years, and people can switch off. Now they're a little more edgy, they're a little more worried, and they'll turn back onto politics again.
I think it is partly this point about politicians and politics engaging with people's lives beyond the ballot box. So just take an example. Young people have views about the kind of things they want in their local area, the parks, the youth centres, across the board. I think the problem is that at the moment, older people are making those decisions for them. We need to hand some power over to young people, for example, to make those decisions for themselves. We've started to do that a little bit. We need to do a lot more of it. So that actually politics is not simply about whether you vote for me or not, but it's about decisions that you can make more directly about the things that affect your own life.
Do you think we need a better understanding of politics? Vote now, please. Yes or no?
I liken the credit crunch to when I was younger. I remember hearing on the news that a nuclear power plant in Russia had exploded. It was called Chernobyl. And I thought, oh, well, that's all right, because it's 12,000 miles away. So I don't have anything to worry about on my father's farm in the Yorkshire Dales. 3 days later, our sheep were showing signs of radioactive material. And the same has happened in business, because globalization, it's a phrase I don't like. It means everything happens a lot quicker, and it happens around the world, and we're influenced. And I think people feel devolved from that.
I can tell you from my previous life, wherever you go in the world to recruit at the universities or recruit students, people want to work for companies, go and work for companies who are ethical, have a good reputation, who are committed to their communities, who mentor their people, who understand work-lifestyle balance needs, who give them interesting assignments early. And I think what business understands, they have to communicate this really well, because if we don't, we won't be able to recruit and, more importantly, retain the talent we need to make a difference.
I've really noticed that a lot of people do say that young people don't have the confidence to sort of like step up and be counted and to actually say what they truly believe. But when you look at the playground, when we play football, when we play rugby, we have the most charismatic, the most competent leaders around. So I just have to say,
I feel really strongly about the fact that a lot of people in this room are not being given the opportunity to have the right skills to go into business. Now, I'm not just talking about technical skills. I'm also talking about that dreadful word, life skills.
There are three kind of levels of skills employers are looking for. There's basic skills, technical skills, and employability, soft skills. And if you look at basic skills in this country right now, we have 5 million adults who are not literate. We have 7 million adults who are not numerate. There are 60,000, 70,000 children every year go to secondary school who can't read or write before we get to ICT skills that are not universally broadly trained. It's a real issue.
Do you feel the need for a better understanding of how the economy, stroke business, stroke finance, stroke the city works? Do you think there should be a better understanding of this area? Yes or no? Vote, please.
I suspect there's a few people here that think that the world's not exactly perfect, probably spend a fair amount of time moaning about this, that and the other, whether it be cycle lanes or grubby streets or the fact that teenagers get it in the neck quite a lot of the time at the moment. Well, I think it's down to you lot to actually make it better.
I think the key thing is that you have a responsibility to try and help everybody in society, wherever you can, live the best lives that they possibly can. And if you can aid that, I think that's real politics.
I think you guys would agree. Like, looking at the voting, we want to be involved, but there are no routes for us to get involved, and if they are there, then they're not accessible at all. I mean, we sit in schools and learn, chemical equations. Why not entrepreneurship or citizenship? Like, surely that would do wonders for society.
I just wanted to say, don't you think that if we don't have a level of responsibility, then it will breach our rights? If you get what I'm saying, because if we don't have a level of responsibility, then our rights won't be protected. Say, for example, we'll create anarchy, because if we are not being responsible citizens, then therefore we won't have rights of security and freedom.
In terms of what a citizen should be, I don't think it's a responsibility to do your bit. I think it's your obligation. I think it's your duty as a citizen to do something for wider society. And I think that in the 21st century, people should be told that there is an expectation on them to do their bit.
Do we think that we should have responsibilities, clear responsibilities, as well as rights? Yes or no? Can we vote, please? Thank you.
I hope we all can agree on this, is that a lot of these big issues that you're facing are very complex, they're all interrelated, and actually they're better discussed rather than fought over. So we've got a lot, I think, to do in terms of learning about the issues, but we'll be getting back to you about a young citizens panel for London and a young citizens panel for the UK, and how we put together an action agenda for the Prime Minister and show what you lot can do, because there's such talent in this audience and we want to trap it.